Good day, mighty eagles. For today, we will be discussing the chapter 3, which is entitled the planning function. Okay, let us now proceed in our lesson 4 in our chapter 3, that's planning. Okay, so our topic is all about the tools and techniques. Okay, so what are the different tools? Number 1, environmental scanning. When speak of environmental scanning, we are talking about scanning the market. We are looking, or we will be looking into the different strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in the market. The next would be forecasting. When speak of forecasting, since we are dealing with planning, then definitely we are looking into what is or what will occur in the near future, or what will happen in the future, meaning we are looking into a assumption on what will occur or what will happen in the next. Okay, number 3 would be benchmarking. When speak of benchmarking, we are comparing our products to the different products in the market, or probably we are comparing our plans to the different plans in an organization, or probably outside the organization, in order for us to accomplish or to come up with a single plan that will be used effectively in an organization. Okay, let's go now to the different techniques. Number 1, readiness to engage in planning. Of course, whenever we plan, then definitely we must condition ourselves. We must also be ready in terms of what are the things or the tools that will be needed in terms of planning. Probably we can consider also the fund that will be used in terms of planning. We can also consider the employees who are or who will be dealing with planning. Okay, so the next would be creating a vision. Of course, whenever we plan, then definitely we are looking forward for what is something to happen, or we are looking forward for us to achieve the vision of the organization. Number 3 would be stock taking. So stock taking is somewhat related to assessing or inventorying, meaning we are looking into, or we are having an assessment tool in order for us to assess or to evaluate whether these plans would be or can be effective or will be effective in terms of achieving our goals and objectives. Okay, so in relation to this one, the goals and objective setting, so we can use this goals and objective setting as our techniques, because in order for us to be able to successful, okay, in the organization, then we must set a goals and objectives in the organization. Next would be build a communication plan. Okay, so whenever we are going to build a communication plan, then definitely we must ensure that the plans are properly communicated to the employees or to all of the concerned personnel, so that they could be able to establish a good connection to each other, and of course they can have a good communication in terms of implementing the rules and regulation in planning. Okay, let us now proceed to our lesson 5. So we will be dealing with the 6th piece of planning. Number 1, purpose. Effective planning requires a clear understanding of a purpose. Okay, so we are planning because we have a purpose, that is to achieve the goals and objective of the organization. So we are planning because we want to achieve something, or we are planning because there is a problem or issue in an organization. Number 2, premise. It involves the strength and the weaknesses of the organization and its knowledge and the assumption. Okay. Number 3 would be plans. It represents the specific objectives and action statements to be taken up in achieving these goals and objectives. Okay. Number 4, philosophy. It incorporates the fundamental beliefs on how the organization purpose is to be achieved. So in this one, we must be guided on how the plans are to be achieved in the organization, or what is the purpose why we need to do this plan. Okay, so that's the philosophy. Next would be the policies. When we speak of policies, we are talking about the rules and regulations that governs the planning process. Okay, so these are the standards, probably the rules, the instructions, or the different procedures. Next would be the priorities. Particular organization must be given a particular priority. So in terms of planning, in order for our planning process or planning function to be effective, then definitely we must give an ample time or prioritize our planning as a means of doing a business in the organization. Okay, next, okay, the lesson 6, the decision making and its steps. Okay, so what is decision making? Decision making is where choices are being made of which activity is to be carried out from the different activities. A decision making is a commitment to action. Why? A decision making is a commitment to action. It's because we are putting our decisions into action. We are deciding because we want this idea or this knowledge that we've decided. We want this to put in action in order for us to put this action also into a success. Okay? So what are the different steps? Number 1, define a problem or issue. Of course, why do we need to plan? It's because we've identified a problem or issue in an organization in which we want to address that problem or issue later on. Okay? Number 2, collect relevant data. Okay? So in order for us to address the existing problems or issues in organization, then definitely we must collect a relevant data through the use of the survey, probably, or an interview or a survey questionnaire that is related to a problem or issue in an organization. Number 3, develop a solution. Okay, so in order for us to come up with a solution or an accurate solution, then definitely we need to collect a relevant or an accurate data coming from the concerned person or the respondents. Okay, next, assess the consequences. So we need to assess the consequences because in order for us to be motivated in achieving the goals and objectives or a positive result, if we know what are the consequences, then definitely we are trying to avoid the consequences because consequences can harm the employee or the organization as a whole. Okay, next would be, okay, select the optimum solution. So out of the hundreds of solutions that we have, so we are going to select one best solution for our existing problem. Okay, next would be implement the solution. How we could be able to implement a solution? Since we have already identified the best solution, then definitely we will put this into action in order for us to solve our problem. Okay, the last one would be measure a result. In order for us to measure a result, then definitely we must do this thing that is what we call the post-evaluation, in which we are going to ask the employees or conduct a feedbacking on what are the possible recommendations for the existing problems, or what are the possible recommendations in order for the solution to become more effective in an organization or in solving a problem. Okay, so thank you for listening for our last 3 lessons in our chapter 3. So I'm looking forward for us to discuss in our chapter 4.